Hey, this is the practical guide to troubleshooting cloud systems with AI. I am an Azure MVP and a cloud engineer with about 10 years of experience in the IT field. And these days, AI agents are the first thing I reach for when something breaks. Not to replace any debugging instincts that I've built up along the way, it's just a way for me to get to the root cause much quicker and at less cognitive effort. Now, this isn't going to assume that you are a senior engineer. This is a video that is completely fine for any level. If you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, I hope to be able to show you some techniques that I use using AI agents that can apply to any level. I will show you how I actually frame the problem for the agent to ensure that I have given it enough context so that the agent will arrive at a high confidence solution rather than a confident guess. I also want to show you a neat trick that I do with pipelines, and troubleshooting pipelines is something that is one of the most boring things I do occasionally. But with AI agents, if I just nudge them in the right way, they can actually do a lot of the heavy lifting for me, and I'm going to show you some examples of that as well. I've found myself in the last few months, I don't even Google stuff anymore. Usually the techniques that I show you in here are good enough to actually resolve issues that I have in the environment. And I mean, I've spent 10 years developing my Googling skills and cultivating that. But within the age of agentic AI, there's just so much autonomy we can make use of the agents. I'm going to show you things where we're going to give it a lot of context. That could be in terms of files and folders, and it can execute commands, it can read things from the output of those commands just to help us along in this troubleshooting experience. So obviously, whenever we work on a day-to-day basis, we may end up having certain artifacts or things that we use in order to help us troubleshoot it. That could be that we have logs that we've pulled from a system, or maybe we've exported things into a CSV, or maybe we have things inside of a database. We have something that we as the human usually will look through. If we are troubleshooting something, we will try and correlate things such as the timestamps. When are we having issues? Do we have any logs that match those timestamps? Do we have anything that can make sense to whatever we are experiencing? Here we have some virtual network flow logs, but we could also have a CSV like I mentioned, and this contains a bunch of information about something, and we would have to spend a lot of cognitive effort on our own to try and correlate the time generated or the timestamps to the things that didn't work and try and figure out what is happening. However, today a lot of this can be taken care of by an agent, because the agents are extremely good at processing large amounts of data, and it is able to make correlations much better than we can. So if we feed these things in like so from whatever system we may be using, it can help us find patterns. It could also be, depending on what we're telling it, it could find things such as configurations. So all of this data that we would previously have to look at and think about, we can feed to an AI agent, and this is very good at helping us processing a large amount of data and make sense of it. For example, I had one use case when I was working a while back. Let's make that as such. And you know, I'm an Azure guy, so I had a virtual network inside of Azure. Actually, I had two of them, and they communicated through a third virtual network, which was a hub virtual network. And the way this is supposed to work is that network connectivity goes from this network to the hub via something that is called VNet peering. The same thing goes for this network. This is also connected via VNet peering. These two networks are not peered, so we don't have a direct line from this first network to the second one. So here we would have just like an X and we can say just no connectivity. However, inside of this virtual network that we have here, like the hub, we do have something that's called a firewall. And the way things are set up is that we do have network application rules that allow connectivity from the source of this virtual network to this destination and so forth. And the problem that I had was that I had configured the firewall to enable and allow this connectivity. However, each of these virtual networks that you're looking at, they have a bunch of smaller subnets. The virtual network is basically sliced and divided into several of these subnets. So what is actually the reality is that we have these subnets, and within one of them I had a virtual machine, and now it's trying to go from this virtual machine all the way up through this peering, through the virtual hub then all the way to their virtual network via the firewall, then to end up inside of this destination virtual machine. So what you're seeing here on the dotted line, this communication pattern wasn't working, and we didn't really realize why. And the virtual network, the firewall rather, it was green. It said that the rules are in place and that connectivity was actually going through it. And some of you may have already figured out what may have been the issue, and that is the network security group. So if you're not aware, there are actually two layers of control, or two different gates that you have to pass through, most often at least, for network connectivity in Azure. The firewall is only one of those gates. The second gate is at the network security group that is attached to the subnet. So if communication is okay at the firewall, but the communication is not okay at the network security group, then connectivity isn't successful. One way to troubleshoot these kinds of things is that you can collect what you see here, which is a network security group flow log, or a virtual network flow log is what they're going to be called, depending on when you are watching this. NSG flow log is the legacy name of it, and virtual network flow logs is the new name. But as you can see, this is a big file. It contains a lot of stuff, and this is even from a demo environment. So if you had a real production environment, you can realize that this file will be even larger. So what I would use to have to do is I would have to go through this JSON file in this case, and I would have to just make sure to try and find things where I see maybe connections are blocked, or maybe I see here that we're not sending any packets, or we're not receiving any packets. But here, for example, we are sending packets but we're not receiving, which this could mean that this could be a potential issue. And then I would have to look up these source addresses, and does it go to the right destination that I care about. Remember, I am troubleshooting connectivity from VM1 to VM2, but in my environment I could have 10 VMs in each of these subnets. So what you can do with AI and agents, of course, and we can use Claude Code for this, but it doesn't really matter which harness you're using. It is pretty much the same thing for both. I would start a new session, and I can attach the flow logs. I've downloaded these flow logs from the Azure portal when I've set them up. I do have a video on the channel that covers more in depth of how to set that up, more in depth about what it is. But for now, just know that it exists there, and I'm gonna attach it to this chat. So I could ask for Claude, or for the AI agent in this case, to troubleshoot the connectivity between there's two specific virtual machines that I showed you. I have attached the virtual network flow logs JSON file into this session. I want you to review it, and I want you to flag any potential issues that exist within this environment, depending on what you can find in the logs, and then tell me about them. The reason I would do it like this is perhaps I want to both find out what is the issue between my different virtual machines, but maybe I have more issues that I haven't found yet. So this is just a way to, yes, spend a little bit more credits probably, but if I can find a potential issue now until it becomes a real issue later, then those are tokens well spent. So it's gonna read through the JSON file, it's gonna be thinking, and again, now it's gonna be correlating and finding issues. And if I did this myself, I could do it, but it would take a lot longer, and I would have to spend a lot more cognitive effort doing it. And that's what I think is a major USP with AI agents. We sort of know what we need to do in terms of troubleshooting. That is the instinct that we built up through years of working. But we can use agents to help us do the heavy lifting so that we can spend that cognitive effort on something else, like thinking about what is the next thing I should be doing. So it's been able to look at all of the, I think it was about 800 lines or something. And it found a bunch of issues actually. So it found one issue that says the host 10.10.1.4 is unreachable. It said that we do have a rule called deny all inbound. That is, these are the problems I'm having with my virtual machine connectivity. So this would just tell me that, yep, these are the machines, these are the IP addresses and the ports, and this is what you have to do. Something else I did, which has been super useful having an AI agent help me troubleshooting, is that I had a virtual machine set up in my environment. This was actually a global secure access connector machine. And these are machines that allow me to access internal resources privately through a connector that is hosted within a virtual network inside of Azure. And for that to work, my connectors need to be able to talk to certain URLs on the internet. So that could be things such as login microsoftonline.com. It needs to talk to portal.azure.com. It may need to talk to msconnect.com. Like, there could be a bunch of things that this machine needs to be able to talk to in order to be fully operational. If that doesn't work, then my machine will fail. People will not be able to use their global secure access client. So what the connection monitor resource, it's this little guy down here, what he does is he will send a bunch of connection attempts, most likely over 443. What this does is that if for whatever reason these connections don't work, I can receive an alert for it. Now the problem with this was that I set up this monitoring and I set up the alerts, and I kept getting pinged, or I kept getting alerts like they were firing. However, the machines were fully functional, and I didn't really understand why, like what did I do wrong? I must have misconfigured it somehow. And something that you get when you set this up is you set it up with a log analytics workspace, which collects a bunch of logs. And what you can do with that is I just brought out all of the logs from the latest, I don't know, an hour perhaps, from where I've had this issue. And it contains a lot. Like, this is a lot of information here. This takes a lot of effort from my end to try and figure out what is actually going wrong. But then again, we can make use of our good friend Claude. So it's pretty much the same thing that I would download this CSV, I would attach it to my session, and then I would say something like, I have configured network connection monitoring resource and I keep getting alerts and I don't really understand why I'm getting alerts. The connector machines are working, however something must be misconfigured inside of my setup. Can you help me review the attached CSV file and help me analyze and try and find the root cause and what do I need to change? And the file is large. Let me examine the structure first. Yes, it is very large. I could have probably filtered this a lot better before I exported it. So if you want to save on token usage, you could filter it down so the CSV is smaller. For me though, I don't really care right now, or not for this at least. So then it says all one test configuration, but it hits multiple destination endpoints, and that makes sense, right, to what I draw up. Here we had like all of these are one destination, and it's gonna ping each of these individually, because if we could have a scenario where login and portal.azure.com works, but the MSFT connect doesn't work for whatever reason. Now I see a pattern, and that is the big thing. It can see a pattern so much faster than I ever could. I would want to have its brain capacity, or maybe I don't. Maybe that would be miserable as a human, but at least the agent doesn't mind. I found the root cause. Let me verify the time distribution, so that's beautiful. So again, like, my instinct is correct. I know that something isn't doing what I want it to do. I know that I need to collect logs, and instead of me reviewing the logs, I just give it to the agent and he can have a look at it. And here it says, root cause. Your success threshold is mathematically impossible to satisfy with only 3 checks per test. So yeah, it said that my intuition was right, my configuration was misconfigured. It says it is too sensitive. The threshold combined with a tiny sample size of 3 checks per evaluation. If you don't know how the connection monitoring works, it is basically gonna do a connection attempt every 30 seconds or so, depending on what you configure. And when it has done 3 of those, it'll calculate like how many of them were successful and how many of them weren't. So you could have a slight hiccup where 1 fails, but the 2 others are operational. In that case, you don't really want to be alerted by it. But I was, because I configured this incorrectly. And it tells me what to change. So raise the checks fail percentage, and that is the quickest fix. And that is what I did. Finally, I want to show you something that has been a game changer for just my peace of mind, because I hate troubleshooting pipelines, and I do have a pipeline here that is failing. We've all probably been doing this if we've been working with pipelines, is that we have something that isn't working, we update the code, we will push it to trigger the pipeline, and then it fails again, and then we just have to do this over and over. And it isn't really nice. So I do have this pipeline here that has failed. What I will do is I will just grab the link for this. I will come to Claude and I would say something like, help me troubleshoot this pipeline. Use CLI or GitHub CLI for accessing it. Fix it. Monitor the results every 30 seconds. Keep iterating until the pipeline is green. I can just do that and then I can leave, or I can do something else, and I will just check up on this every once in a while and see what's happening. So here it says it's found the bug. I planted this error, or I had Claude plant it just for transparency, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to show you the workflow. So now it's going to commit and push, which I believe is gonna trigger the pipeline again. So now it says push. Now let me find the triggered run and monitor it. So it's going to use GitHub CLI to find the runs. If I go here and go to actions, I can see it has started again. And here it's asking me to run every 30 seconds until complete. This is a very small one. It's already completed. And it says the pipeline is green. And it tells me what the root cause was. So I've done this and I've left it running, and it's been triggering over and over on much more complex issues. And it's basically like a Ralph loop, you could think of, that keep iterating on this, and the definition of done is that the pipeline passes. That is going to be it for the video. I hope you found something that was useful, and I hope you learned something. I can leave a link to the video about Azure Network Troubleshooting if you're even more interested in the flow logs and firewall and how all of that works together with log analytics. I will be making more videos on the channel about different agent techniques that I use, but I will also cover more Azure as a whole. So make sure you don't miss that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, it means a ton to me. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.